Hi everyone, my name is Andrea Pearson. I'm author of the book The Key of Kilenya, set to be released June 28, 2011, and book 2 is coming out the end of August of this year. Alright, today's question comes from this Wattpad user who is asking me about analyzing stories, saying that you analyze stories in school and you talk about like similes and metaphors and things like that, and does this actually come naturally to authors, or do authors actually have to work on it? Some things come naturally to some authors. Some authors are able to just pull things out of the air naturally. For instance, my editor's dad was obsessed with puns, and I don't remember the exact story, but my editor can pull a pun out of anything. She's amazing at them. I didn't. When we were going over my first book, she found so many puns I was like, now I'm actually seeing them because she pointed them out so much. Some editors are really good at coming up with similes. Some come up with metaphors really, really easily, but a good author will know how to use every single one of these methods, and whether they use them or not, it doesn't matter, but they'll know how to use them, and they'll use them when they're appropriate and when they'll bring more strength to a situation. Going on with that, one of my favorite things in the world, I'm obsessed with words, a lot of writers are, and I absolutely love words that show what the character's doing. So I'm going to give a little sentence here. We're going to say, this is the sentence: Jacob walked to school. Okay? This sentence right here is a typical sentence. Jacob walked to school. But what mood is Jacob in? What's on Jacob's mind? What is he doing right now? This sentence right here, it tells us his action, but it doesn't really propel the story forward. So what if I changed it to, what if I changed this verb to stormed? So if I change it to stormed, then you can kind of get an idea. I mean, what emotion is he feeling? He's probably feeling anger right now. I mean, if you're storming somewhere, you're feeling angry. Or maybe if we change it to shuffled. So to me, shuffled, it reminds me of somebody who's having a hard time walking, somebody probably older or sick or helpless who has a hard time walking, or tired or exhausted. So basically, you can, and verbs are great for this. A verb, you don't have to use like the easy to use verbs. There are a few verbs, I'm going to write them down here right now, that are really easy to get into a bad habit of using. Walk is one of them, unless they are actually walking, they don't have any strong emotion. Run can be too, because you've got race, you've got dash, you've got just all sorts of different words that can be used that. Move is one that is used a lot. So he moved to the, I don't know, he moved to stand next to her, he moved over to the corner, things like that. So let's see, another one is fill. This is not a very descriptive verb. He was feeling sad. He felt bad. Let's see, what's another example? I have an example for my book where I use the word feel, and one of my beta readers was like, but what's he really feeling? Is where Jacob, it's in chapter 1, and Jacob's got this huge headache, and he's trying to decide if he should go out and fight the wolves or if he should stay in the tree overnight. And he's like, could he face the wolves feeling like he did? And my beta reader was like, that doesn't really say anything. And so he suggested I switched out Phil, and so I put suffer in instead, because he'd fallen, he had a gash in his forehead, he was freaking out about the wolves outside, and so I changed it to suffer. So could Jacob go outside suffering as he was? And so that basically tells us a little bit more of what's going on, and with less words. Anyway, I'll come up with more lists of things that you can edit out of your writing to make your writing more precise and to make sure that your writing is actually going forward. But basically, good writers, they learn how to notice these things, like metaphor, similes, as I was saying. They learn how to recognize when a word is not actually doing what they want it to do, and that's the point that we all need to get to in order to be good writers. And that's it for today.